Hello friends, now I am going to explain about the concept of pointers. First we have to know the definition of the pointer. Pointer is a variable which stores the address of another variable. So here a pointer is a variable, but in this pointer variable we are storing address of another variable. So in general variables we are storing the values. In pointer variable we are storing address of another variables. So for example here pointer variable declaration. So as usually before going to use the pointer variables in our program, first we have to declare the pointer variable. So here int star p. So star is the pointer variable representation. So generally we are declaring as int p. Generally we are declaring as int p if p is the integer data type variable. But here if the p is a pointer variable, we have to declare like int star p. So here p is the pointer variable. In this pointer variable we are storing address. In this particular address we can store integer values. Okay, next example. So here I am taking total 4 variables. Among these 4 variables, these two a and b are the normal variables and p and q are the pointer variables. All are integer data type. So in a we can store value, in b we can store some integer value, in p we can store some address, in q we can store some address, because p and q are pointer variables. So in these pointer variables we can store only address. So I am giving a equal to 5. So this integer variable a I am giving the value 5. Next b equal to 10. For integer variable b I am giving value 10. Next p equal to address of a. So p is the pointer variable. P is the pointer variable. So in this pointer variable p I am giving some address, because pointer variables will stores address of some other variables. So p equal to address of a. That means here the variable a address will be stored in pointer variable p. Like same here q equal to address of b. Here the variable b address will be stored in pointer variable q. So in p it is having variable a address, in q it is having variable b address. So based on the above example, a equal to 5, b equal to 10. So this is a. In this variable a it is having value 5. Here this is b. In variable b it is having value 10. So when we are declaring these variables a and b, some memory will be allocated for these two variables. So for example this memory is 1020 for variable a and 1022 for variable b. Now address of a is 1020, value of a is 5. So if I am writing the printf statement like this, printf %ld comma p. So here p is the pointer variable. In pointer variable p I am giving address of a. Address of a is 1020. So here it prints 1020 value, because p is the pointer variable. In p I am assigning the address of variable a. Address of variable a is 1020. So here it prints 1020. Like same. Next printf %ld comma pointer p. Here when we are giving this star pointer before this pointer variable, it gives the value from the address of pointer variable p. So in pointer variable p it is having some address. When we are giving the star before the pointer variable, it gives the value from that particular address. So in pointer variable p it is having address of a. When we are giving the star, then it gives the value of address of a. So address of a is 1020. The value from this address is 5. So automatically it gives the value 5. So prints the value 5. Next printf %ld comma q. in q, here this q is the pointer variable. For this q we are assigning the address of variable b. Address of variable b is 1020. So when we are printing this q value, it prints the address of b, that is 1020. Next, printf %ld comma star q. So q is the pointer variable. In q it is having address of 1022. When we are giving star before pointer variable, that means in q it is having address 1022. When we are giving the star before pointer variable, it gives the value from this particular address. The value from this address 1022 is 10. So it prints the value 10. Okay. Next, I am giving a sample program. Hash include stdio.h header file. Next, int main. Okay. Int c equal to 5. So c is normal variable, integer data type. We are assigning the value 5. Next, int pointer p. Here p is the pointer variable. I am assigning for this pointer variable p some address. For pointer variable p, we are assigning some address. That address is address of c. Here we are taking some variable c. We are assigning the variable c address here to pointer variable p. So in p it is having address of c. If we are printing like pointer p, it gives the value 5. So p gives address of c, pointer p gives the value 5. That means the value at address of c. Next, printf %d comma p. Printf %d comma pointer p. So pointer p. So in p it is having address of c. When we are giving pointer value, it gives the value from address of c. So value at address of c is 5. So we are getting the output 5. Next, program for addition of two numbers using pointers. So this is the program just for addition of two numbers, but by using pointer variables. Okay. Next, int first comma second. So first is one integer variable, second is another integer variable. Pointer p is one pointer variable, pointer q is another pointer variable. So first, second normal variables, pointer p, pointer q pointer variables, and sum is some normal variable. So 3 normal variables, 2 pointer variables. Okay. Next, printf enter integers to add. So we have to enter two numbers for doing the addition operation. So to read the two variables, the two values, we are writing scanf function as usually. So both are integer data type. So %d, and the first value will be stored at address of first. Second value will be stored in address of second. So first value we are storing in variable first, and second value we are storing in variable second. Next, I am giving the address of first, that is address of variable first, to pointer variable p. So in pointer variable p, it is having address of variable first. Okay. Next, q equal address of second. So I am giving address of variable second to pointer variable q. So in p it is having address of first variable, in q it is having address of the second variable. Next, sum equal pointer p plus pointer q. In p it is having address of first variable. When we are giving this pointer symbol, it gives the value from address of first variable. So it gives the value of first variable. Pointer p gives the value of first variable. Next, pointer q. In q it is having address of second variable. When we are giving star q, it gives the value from address of second variable. So it gives the second value. Pointer p gives the first value and pointer q gives the second value. So by doing this plus operator, we are adding these two values and we are storing the result in sum. So simply sum of the two numbers equal percentage d comma sum. In the variable sum, it is having the sum of the two numbers we are printing here. So we are getting the output like sum of two numbers is equal total value. So if we enter two numbers 4 and 5, we are getting the output sum of entered numbers equal 9. Next, swapping two numbers using pointers. So here just we have to swap the two numbers by using pointers. So we have to take two numbers. For example, I am taking two numbers 100 and 200. Next, after swapping, in variable number you should have the value 200. In variable number 2 you should have the value 100. So number 1 100, number 2 200. After swapping, number 1 should be 200 and number 2 should be 100. Okay, we have to do that just swapping by using pointer variables. So I am here using some function, that is swap. For swapping two numbers, I am using the function swap. So function is with parameter without return. So it is having two parameters. Two parameters are pointer variables. Two parameters are pointer variables. Next, void main. I am taking two variables, number 1, number 2. Here I am asking first number and I am storing in number 1. And next I am asking second number, I am storing in variable number 2. Next, before swapping, number 1 is percentage d comma number 2 is percentage d. So here just I am printing before swapping, number 1 is first number, number 2 is second number. Just I am getting the output like this. Before swapping, number 1 is 100, number 2 is 200. If I enter two numbers 100 and 200. Next, I am calling the function swap address of number 1 comma address of number 2. So I am calling the function swap with the two parameters, and the first parameter is address of number 1 and second parameter is address of number 2. Number 1 is the variable, I am passing the address of that particular variable. Number 2 is the variable, I am passing as parameter that address of variable number 2. So just we are passing the address of number 1 and an address of number 2 as parameters. Program execution automatically jump to the call function, that is here. So address of number 1 will be assigned to pointer variable x. Address of number 1 will be assigned to pointer variable x. Address of number 2 will be assigned to pointer variable y. In pointer variable x, it is having address of number 1. In pointer variable y, it is having address of number 2. Next, for doing the swapping, I am taking some temporary variable t. So next, t equal pointer x. In x, it is having address of number 1. When we are putting this pointer symbol, it gives the value from address of number 1. That means the first value 100. I am putting that value 100 in t. Next, pointer x equal pointer y. Y is the pointer variable, it is having address of number 2. When we are putting the pointer symbol, it gives the value at address of number 2. The value at address of number 2 is 200. I am putting the 200 value in pointer x. So in x is the pointer variable, it is having address of number 1. So at address of number 1, we are putting the value 200. So address of number 1 means the variable in number 1, we are placing the value 200. Next, pointer y equal to t. Actually in t, it is having first value 100. So we are placing that first value 100 in pointer y. Y is the pointer variable which is having address of number 2. So at address of number 2, we are placing the value 100. So in variable 2, it is having value 100. So we are copying the value 200 to first to number 1 at the value 100 to number 2. So values are swapped. Next, we are printing after swapping number 1 is percentage d comma number 2 is percentage d comma number 1 comma number 2. Now in number 1 it is having the value 200, in number 2 it is having the value 100. So it is printing the output like after swapping number 1 is 200, number 2 is 100. Thank you.